Hi guys, just a quick message here. There were a few internet problems during the beginning of this podcast, so Carl's analysis of the Rangers Dortmund game may be a bit interrupted, but other than that I think we should be okay. So after the first 10-15 minutes and then the pod is back to normal. Sorry about that.
The Jim Goodwin revolution gets underway with a draw. The old firm gives us a reason to want VAR, and the positives return to the Premiership with Stephen Robinson inbound to Paisley. This is the False 90s podcast.
Yes, this is the False 90s podcast. With us today we've got Lewis, Carl and Andy. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Very well, yes,
doing well.
very good.
Yeah, good.
And despite all that was mentioned in the intro, we have to start in Dortmund for Borussia Dortmund 2, Rangers 4. And Kyle, you were actually at this game.
I was, yes.
How was it?
Well, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. It was unbelievable. The whole trip in total was just absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, I don't think anyone got this right in the predictions at all. This was the right game, like what we watching. But obviously, yeah, they were missing Haaland, of course. But still, they still had their big players like Marco Reus, and I think Hummels was playing as well. So yeah, it was quite a good game, to be honest. I'll start the first goal. Obviously, a penalty. When they stopped the play, we're like, oh, something's happened. So, but yeah, great finish by him. But yeah, no, one of the great goals from Lundstrom as well. And then, obviously, that was there's quite a few videos I've logged in, saying what actually happened after that goal. Beer flying everywhere. So it was just magical to be there as well. And obviously, the own goal came from Zagadou in the 54th minute, which. Yeah, I don't really know what to do there, to be honest. And obviously the two Dortmund goals came from Bellingham and Guerrero. So yeah, it was a special day. And obviously it's only half time, so we'll see on Thursday what happens when Haaland's back.
I think from a Dortmund perspective, though, it shows something. Like, it shows that this Dortmund team are like an old Barcelona team. There's an over-reliance on Erling Haaland. The same way that at Barcelona, maybe 2012, 2013, there was an over-reliance on getting the ball to Messi and just hoping he scored a goal. I feel like that Dortmund team is far too talented to have been humiliated by Rangers. Like, it's no disrespect to Rangers, like, fantastic performance for the club, but Dortmund should have done more. Although I do believe that their manager has kind of lost the board a bit, and yeah. I think he's on a very shaky peg. So yeah, they got beat 6-1 off another team in the Bundesliga, and I can't remember who it is.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the top teams, I think.
Leverkusen.
No.
Leverkusen.
It was either maybe Mönchengladbach? No, I think it was like
Mönchengladbach 6-1.
I thought it was the other one, the one that has like the wee flag and the logo.
They got beat by SC Freiburg.
Freiburg as well, Freiburg. Oh no, that was Bayern that lost.
Bayern lost to that bottom place team. Who are they called?
Yeah, it's named. You know what one? The blue, it's like the blue black, and they've got like the flag. Anyway,
Bochum. Bayern lost to Bochum. That was it.
Bochum.
VFL Bochum.
Yeah, and it's just is there a decline in German football? You'd think like Dortmund would want to stay in the Europa League because there's like nothing else for them after this. The only things that they can try for is the league, because I'm pretty sure they're out the Pokal already. So
yeah, they were knocked out in the fourth round of the Pokal very early to a lower division team as well, I think. So yeah, I mean, obviously Dortmund recently haven't had much of a success in terms of winning titles. They've won the odd pokal, but nothing more. And I think they don't. I think a lot of players may have admitted to themselves they won't be going the whole way against Bayern this season. So the Europa League was really their saving grace for silverware, because there's not a lot of teams of Dortmund's caliber left in it.
You're sounding like they're Andy, like they're already out. They've still got.
No, I know, but you think at home in front of 80,000 fans that they're going to put on a bit more of a.
There wasn't 80.
Display.
There was only 10.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it wasn't a full stadium due to
restrictions.
COVID restrictions. Yeah.
Well,
No,
anyway,
I still agree with Andy though. At a home atmosphere, they should be doing more.
it just shows
Like-
also
Yeah,
there seems to be a bit of a struggle in Dortmund. I mean, that bench, obviously they didn't have a full strength team, but they were only missing a couple of players.
They
and that's
pretty much did.
ridiculous.
They pretty much did.
That's what I'm saying. They were only missing a couple of players, and that team did not look like world beaters. Certainly, I mean, the depth. If you compare the depth to Bayern, the Dortmund, like Bayern have their bench is probably better than Dortmund's first team at the current moment. I just don't think that Dortmund team has. I mean, with Haaland back, there's a chance they could just produce the goods. But honestly, I think they're fairly safe to assume that Dortmund probably aren't getting through this tie.
They need at least 2 goals.
Yeah.
All I'm going to
really
say
think they're
is,
bogey.
see the team that got beat off Leverkusen was the same team pretty much as what played against us.
Yeah, as I'm saying, like Dortmund,
Yeah.
without even with injuries, without injuries, I just don't think Dortmund's first team is as strong as it has been in previous years. So, like, it used to be a bit of a scary tie. Obviously, it's still a glamour tie. You're still going away to the Westfalenstadion, but I just don't think Dortmund have done anything in particular that would merit them to even be favourites for the Europa League, let alone get through this tie.
They still got like really good players in there. Obviously, they've got Witzel, they've got Bellingham, Royce, Brandt, Hummels. There's big names in that team.
And they also did win 6-0 against Gladbach at the weekend, so they bounced back. They bounced back pretty big. So it'd be something to definitely keep an eye on.
100%.
Now, is
I've
the
got Salah
damage
as well Thursday, so.
is the damage already done?
No,
Because
it's only
you've
2
got-
goals in it.
I know it's only 2 goals, but you are now coming to Ibrox, which you can't deny, regardless of what team you support, is an intimidating atmosphere.
It will be a full Ibrox as well as compared to
exactly.
half full.
As opposed to a neutered.
What it is they need to score? They need to beat us 3-0 essentially.
Probably, yeah. If they to avoid extra time and penalties, which could go. We know Rangers love penalties.
I can see us scoring.
Yeah.
So that defense, the Dortmund defense isn't that great, to be honest. That's what I've seen as well. They're like, it wasn't that great defense.
I mean, there were a couple of players like Diallo playing out of position and stuff.
What?
No, what's his name? The guy, the Dortmund centre, Akanji. Sorry,
Akanji, yeah,
Akanji. He's the Rangers guy. I meant Akanji. He was playing. Normally, he prefers to stay in the centre, and he was playing out wide on the left back for Dortmund, and he's not the most pacy guy.
Yeah. But Kent stripped him. You know.
I was saying Kent was having a field day against him.
Yeah, it was him and Hummels were over that side.
Yeah, and neither are particularly pacey defenders.
All I'm going to say is Kent should be playing that sort of level. He's phenomenal. When he's got his head, he's phenomenal. The talent to have in that team. But when he's not got his head, he's just an idiot. But yeah, no, obviously, summarise just it was a superb night. Obviously, it's only half time. Well, come back to me after Thursday.
It wasn't such a good night in the Europa Conference League for the other side of Glasgow. Celtic 1, Bodø/Glimt 3.
Look, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Bodø/Glimt are world beaters. I'm joking. They are like, I mean, I think a lot of people went in going to the game. They're like, oh, I hope Angie doesn't underestimate Bodø/Glimt. You know, they dismantled Roma. They've had some cracking results in the Conference League so far, and they have walked the Norwegian League 2 seasons in a row now. And we went in, and we were just rotten. We went in and we completely underestimated them. Like a lot of people expected to happen. To be fair.
Yeah, I was expecting it to happen, to be honest, because you're terrible. in Europa, like just Europa games, Europe games, knockouts. You are terrible. Your form is terrible. It's really, really bad. So I was expecting it, but like that was poor. That was really poor.
Poor showing. They went 1-0 down really quickly. I think that probably knocked a lot of confidence out of them.
It shouldn't though. It shouldn't.
We tend to lose when we concede first. Like a lot of games. I mean, the last game I can remember as winning after going behind was the League Cup final against Hibs. But certainly, I mean, especially in European knockout ties, whenever we go behind, we just don't seem to be able to pull it back. We just go another goal behind usually.
And that's exactly what happened here as well. It's a big loss, but again, there's only 2 goals in it. But you have to go to the Arctic Circle in February to get 2 points.
I saw to compound just to the crushing defeat of that. I saw pictures of their stadium. I mean, what is Tony Macaroni in Norwegian? Because that is it's petite. It's a small stadium. They're turnstiles. They've installed turnstiles just for their Conference League campaign this year, and someone's been to B&Q and they've just got like wooden pallets with a ticket machine like lodged between them, and that's their turnstiles.
Well, yeah. So it's going to be a tough away day for them. Obviously, we're focusing more on the positive of Rangers, but Celtic's negatives in Europe knockout games have been compounded again. But they did bounce back quite well in the league with a 3-2 win over Dundee, who under new manager, should have been under new manager Mark McGee, but after James McPate's sacking, McGee was appointed, and yet he still has to serve his 5-game ban. But Celtic bounced back against that managerless Dundee with a 3-2 win.
Sorry, just come on. Did any of you seen the Mark McGee interview?
No. What's he been saying?
So he got interviewed right when he signed for Dundee. Obviously, like a chat with a gaffer kind of thing, and they were basically like, "Oh, how do you feel about the team?" And he was like, "Oh, I know these players inside out. I've had a great chat with them. So who's your captain going to be then, Mark?" "Oh, I don't know who my captain's going to be yet." So if you know the squad, how can you not pick a captain?
Yeah, it's not got a clue. I can't wait to see him. That'd be good fun.
It's just for the meme. He literally was appointed for the meme.
Yeah.
That was a nervy game though, to say the least. I mean, honestly, we just had chance after chance after chance. We just couldn't break them down. We had to. I mean, it was one of those games where we got lucky and we just had to rely on individual brilliance of certain players to shine through. I mean, I thought Ralston was fantastic, and obviously hat-trick hero Giacomakis was phenomenal. I mean, he just got onto the end of everything, and that's the first time I've seen him. I mean, ever since he missed that penalty in the last minute against Livy, which would have put us top, and then we went on that torrid run after that. I just think he's certainly, his physicality's improved, his mentality's improved, and I hope that, 6 goals in his last 6 now. I hope that'll start 6 goals in the last 6 starts, not in 6 appearances, but I hope that'll start as like a bit of a spree for him, goes on a killing spree towards the end of the season. And then obviously got next league game's Livy away at the Tony Mac, so fingers crossed that doesn't go. Hopefully it goes differently to last time we played Livy, and he can come good. I hope he even scores a penalty. That'll be his hero arc completed.
Ultimate redemption story, yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rangers, they followed up their European heroics with a 1-1 draw with Turner Dice against Dundee United.
Yep. I was just going to say what Andy said. Basically, it was a dominant performance, but obviously we got the complete opposite. It was a complete dominant performance from Rangers. Don't think there was much chances Dundee United had, to be honest, but it's just say we struggled to break them down. And yeah, got to give credit when it's due. I hate to say it because I hate him. I forgot his name now. What's his name? Guy in centre back for.
What, Charlie Mulgrew?
Charlie Mulgrew, yeah. I hate him. But fair play to him. Yeah, it was a good, solid performance from him and Seagrist to keep us out. Yeah, obviously the goal came from Aribo in the 76th minute. Obviously Graham scored first, but before Graham scored for Dundee United, there was a big penalty claim, which, to be fair, looking at it, it does hit his. I don't know. It's hard to tell, really. It's hard to. I'm not sure because obviously the rules with the whole giving penalty thing. If it hits your body first and hits your arm, then it's not a penalty. So whatever it is. So maybe not sure about that one, but definitely the pull on Sakala was definitely a penalty. Don't know what you guys thought of them both, but I'd like to hear what you're thinking of them.
I mean, as much as the meme is penalty to Rangers, they definitely, at least one of them definitely should have been a penalty. I think it further brings into question why hasn't Scotland got VAR, because there are so many leagues. I mean, there's so many leagues that do have it that you think wouldn't afford it. The Colombian league has VAR.
Yeah. There's leagues below us in the European coefficient rankings that have VAR.
I mean, the Cypriot league has it, and that's only half a country.
Yeah,
I think this is one of the only things that Rangers and Celtic coming together to agree on.
I just think it'll improve the quality of refereeing across the board, because there are some shocking decisions every single week, and then the people go, "Oh, well, why was it a shocking decision?" Yada yada yada. When in fact, like one simple solve. If a ref can go, "Oh, I'm not sure on that decision," instead of making a decision and upsetting fans either way, I'll just go ask my video assistant ref, who can rewatch it 1,000,000 times and tell me the correct output of the result.
Right.
Mm-hmm. However, knowing the Scottish refs, they'd probably just bollock that up anyway.
The problem with Scottish refs is I think everyone there's the whole thing that if we've got Bobby Madden, we're losing this game. If we've got Kevin Clancy, we're losing this game. I think there is although it's not known, I think there's a subculture where people do think that there's a secret handshake club within Scottish refereeing.
Those bloody Masons.
Right. Or just, if it's Rangers playing someone, there's a bit of Rangers bias, or the referee. If Celtic playing someone, there's a bit of Celtic bias. And that's coming from an on-off. I think that's just a belief. I doubt it, and I said that on Saturday. I couldn't be a referee because it must actually be really difficult to be impartial. That being said, some of the decisions that are made in Scottish football are absolutely shocking, and we do need VAR. We need something to look it back and be like, no, that's a stonewall penalty. And obviously, some folks I don't want VAR because it'll ruin the game. It ruins. It's like you celebrate a goal and then it can be ruled out. Yeah, but at least then it's
the right decision.
Making sure that goal, making sure that goal was justified. If you tap it in and you're maybe an arm offside, then you're still offside. But in Scottish football, you can't check that. If the ref says it's a goal, it's a goal. If he says it's no goal, it's no goal. There's no way to verify.
Yeah. Right, so just reading out the stats from the game as well. Shots. Dundee 95, Rangers 30. Shots on target, Rangers 2, Rangers 3. It just shows really that our chances are not turning into anything really. So it's just, I don't know what's happening, because we can do it against Dortmund, but we couldn't do it against flipping Dundee United. 75% possession to 25. I know possession doesn't determine games or whatever, but that is ridiculous amount of possession. But yeah, it's just one of those games, to be honest.
Possession's only useful if it's being turned into stuff. You're right.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
If you've got 70% of the possession of the game, you also want to have 70% of the total number of shots in the game. I mean, that tends to be sides who have more possession tend to dominate, but there's also, it doesn't factor in just passing in the back if you're 3-0 up and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. But the shot's 30. That's pretty high, but
yeah.
But yeah, and I was looking. Obviously, people are saying we've taken I don't know how many points it is from our previous away trips, but it's absolutely shocking. It is terrible. But what can you do? We're lucky there's only 3 points in it, to be honest. But yeah, don't worry. Yours are due to drop points. Don't worry, Andy.
Yeah, win streaks. Everyone knows win streaks can't last, but I would like to build up a bigger cushion in the score.
Wait till we play a away game.
Well, Livy away is the perfect.
Yeah, that's your bogey. That's your bogey, isn't it?
Yeah, the Tony Mac.
Yeah.
Haven't won since 07.
Seriously?
Yeah, haven't won at the Tony Mac since 07. And that's
way.
That's in all competitions. Haven't won in the league since 01 or something at the Tony Mac.
Wow. No way.
It's genuinely a fortress, that place.
Surely not. That can't be right.
Surely it's genuinely ridiculous how bad we are when we play at the Tony Mac.
Jesus. Well, I hope he's a drop points then. Anyway, that's me done about it. But yeah, fair play to Dundee United and fair play to Mulgrew and Seagrass. That's pretty much summary.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier about new manager coming in for Dundee. There's been some new managers coming in at several other clubs in the Premiership. First of all, we had Aberdeen. They replaced Stephen Glass with St Mirren's Jim Goodwin, and he was in charge. He was announced 4 hours before kick-off in Motherwell 1, Aberdeen 1.
Obviously, not really much actually to say about the game, other than second half Motherwell should have got a second goal. Obviously, game kicks off, and what I will say, and I said it earlier to Sam, the amount of delusion that comes from Aberdeen fans is unbelievable. The man has been in the door for 4 hours and we're already going, Jim Goodwin's red and white, mate, like all this stuff. And there was a pitch inspection at 10 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday before the game, and Aberdeen fans on Twitter were just like, you're going to ruin our momentum, even though your manager's not had a training session yet. Obviously, the first goal comes in for Aberdeen from Vicente Besugian, something like that.
Besugian.
Can't get that. Besugian, yeah. Well worked goal. I can't fault it. It was just a nice time pass into the box and just a tap in for the boy. Second goal in the game for Motherwell. Pass in from Kevin Van Veen, tapped in by Mark O'Hara, getting his first goal in a wee while for the club, which is always nice to see. Been out a wee while with injury, worked his way back into the squad and gets his first goal. Other than that, was just a plethora of yellow cards. Game got a wee bit intense towards the end, and we really thought, we did really think that Motherwell could have and should have probably won that game, took the 3 points. Obviously, though, I'll always take a point here and there, as long as we don't drop points. I don't really mind, and that's all I've got to say on the matter.
Yeah, the result does see Motherwell still stay in the top 6, in 6 exactly, because overtaking them was Hibs with a solid 2-0 win over Ross County. Both goals from Jake Doyle-Hayes, both absolutely
that Doyle-Hayes goals was phenomenal.
Both of them.
The first one.
I mean, both of them were
decent, yeah.
Were very decent, yeah. That first one was just absolutely out of this world. I think it was a pretty bland first half, but second half it definitely really kicked into gear. Hibs dominant throughout. I don't think Ross County had much of a sniff in. It's a result that does see them up to 4th, and it's a place where they really should really be at this point. They just need to carry on holding on to that because it is very tight. Still 4th, 5th and 6th all on the same points. St Mirren only a point behind. Aberdeen and Livy only 3 points behind from that as well. So it's not. It's still.
I don't know how close that is between
still
like 4th and 6th.
Yeah, it's still extremely tight there.
Yeah.
Between 4th and 9th, it's only 3 points.
Yeah.
And talking of, I mentioned St Mirren, who are in 7th at the moment because Jim Goodwin has left. Just appointed this weekend was Stephen Robinson coming in from Morecambe. We spoke a little bit about him last week.
What? Oh God.
He's back. Steve-O makes a return.
Oh God.
I'll be buzzing loose.
No, right. Obviously I'm disappointed by this move, but I guess I just need to look at the positives. No, I like, right. I don't know what it is recently, right, in the last 2 seasons, but St Mirren just want to become Motherwell past FC. Charles Dunn, Richard Tate, Lee Irwin, who's now obviously left the club. They had Samson at one point in goal. Lads, what the fuck? Robinson ain't the manager you want.
No,
Like,
certainly.
no one would ever look and think, we want to get into Europe this season, let's get Stephen Robinson. And I know what everyone's going to... No, because I know what everyone's
what they're going to do is they're going to play a back 5 when they're 1-0 up and put every single player in the box when they're 1-0.
Long ball FC, long ball Robinson.
3-5-2. No, I've got really, lads. I've honestly got no word. It's a shocking appointment from St Mirren, who have obviously only looked at the one season that Robinson done well at Motherwell, which was that season where he took us into third. My apologies, third. Behind the Glasgow clubs, but it was in a season where Hibs were awful, Aberdeen were awful,
Hearts were
Hearts were relegated, and there was no one really to compete with us. So, in reality, from a Motherwell perspective, Robinson done 2 cup finals and European qualification for us to get punted out by an Israeli side. This ain't the manager that's going to get St Mirren Europe. This ain't the manager that's going to hold St Mirren together. Like,
it looks
such a journeyman as well. Like, he's been in the lower leagues of England, up to Motherwell, and back down to Morecambe. So, Oldham sacked, Motherwell sacked. Well, left by mutual consent, but jumped before he was pushed. And realistically, the position that Morecambe are sitting at in League One, he's left Morecambe now to come to St Mirren because he knew he was going to get sacked. How is it going to end at St Mirren? Probably sacked as well.
It looks even worse compared to the other coaches that St Mirren were talking to with regards to this managerial thing, which were apparently Scott Brown and Stephen Naismith, which both of them have 0 managerial experience. So, I mean, in some way,
still better than Robinson.
And I was going to say, in a way, credit to St Mirren for actually picking someone who has managerial experience, but not that one.
I mean, you could argue, a little bit of ambition to choose an inexperienced manager. I mean, there always has to be a team. Some team somewhere has to give these managers their break, and more often than not, it doesn't work out. But it's better than that used to be back in the day. You'd give young hotshot managers a shout. Now it just seems to be this merry-go-round of mid-table teams just have this merry-go-round of dinosaur managers with stale systems.
Robinson.
Now, if you look at the lower end of the Prem, it's always just the same format. Benitez, Ranieri, all just on like a merry-go-round of relegation sides.
And it's happening the same here as well.
Yeah, it's the same in Scotland, but it's a much smaller list of candidates up here. It's like the same four managers. I mean, when Ross County go down, someone like Dundee United will take a punt on someone like Malky Mackay, and it'll just be a whole thing.
This is just... You know what? This is a sad day for Scottish football, is what this is. We thought we got rid of him, and like The Undertaker, he just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, that bad.
And
Sure.
From my perspective, it is. And I know from like... I know from a fan's perspective, you're probably sitting there like, oh, this is great. It's not. It's really not. This is not a good signing. It's not a good appointment. And St Mirren, as a club, just... You've made a big mistake. A huge mistake.
Yeah, they appointed the manager after a 1-1 draw at the Tony Macaroni with Livingston. It was a 78th minute equaliser from Greg Kilty after a Bruce Anderson opener. Again, not the result either of them are looking for, but it does keep them both in the race for that top six or even for fourth. I mean, Livy's still only 3 points away. As well, we also had Hearts again dropping more points. St Johnstone with an extremely quick opener from Alistair Crawford in the first minute, equalised by Nathaniel Atkinson just 5 minutes later, and then Jamie McCart getting the winner in the 56th minute. It's something that keeps St Johnstone in with a shout of staying up. Melker Hellberg had a fantastic game for them after he's left Hibs and gone to St Johnstone. He's had a really good game. They're off the bottom now, albeit Dundee have a game in hand. So it does look, slightly positive. Even Xander Clark's come out and said he's repeated the words of Callum Davidson, saying that staying up this season will be even better than the 2 cup wins last season. So it does look like they'll be able to do that.
They could. I'm not gonna lie. They could, but is it really better than the cup?
Yeah.
Nothing really beats winning a cup, does it?
And winning two cups in the same season when you're not really favourites for either of them. You can't beat that at all, surely.
Well, no, and then going from double cup win to relegation favourites also isn't great.
No, that's not good. Very bad.
But to be fair, they were always going to get their squad dismantled. Any time a smaller team makes a fantastic run like that and has a great season. I mean, holding Galatasaray to a 1-1 draw. Galatasaray in Hungary. Was it in Hungary? It was in neutral venue, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
To a 1-1.
Don't quote me.
Budapest.
No, I don't think it was because there was a leg. There was a leg.
No.
It was in Perth that they drew.
It might be us against Galatasaray in a venue because we played them one leg, I think.
Well, no, there was talk because of COVID because Turkey was on the red list and the players weren't allowed to come from Turkey to the UK, so they were talking about doing it in a neutral venue in Budapest. But yeah, I think the game went ahead in Perth anyway.
Yeah, so they had the game both in Istanbul and Perth, and then obviously losing out to Lask in the Conference League as well. They had both those games in Perth, so yeah, both their home legs in Perth. So they had their mini European adventure. They played some huge clubs in that, but this is the point now where you can't blame that European run anymore. You've got to actually sit down and actually trying to win games, focus on what you can do for the rest of the season. You can't be, dropping points to Dundee. You can't be going on, 2-month losing runs. You have to be, fighting to be, a top club.
I feel like Callum Davidson is only in the job now, still sort of out of merit. Because if you're on a run as bad as they are, like it sort of gets to the point where it doesn't matter what he's done previously. If a run is that rotten, I don't think it's something you can turn around overnight. I mean, their squad was dismantled. Their players were sold for absolute pennies, not enough to be able to have a rebuild. You know, the coffers are probably pretty dry, and when you're losing games, people aren't going to the games. Ticket receipts are down. I think you'd have to have just a drastic change of the whole club direction at that point. Because I don't think if they survive this season in 11th, I don't see them magically jumping up next season to mid-table or something.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. But those cup wins, they're never going to be topped. So I can see why they're struggling this season, because how can you go out and match those 2 cup wins as an underdog?
Quite simply, you can't.
Exactly.
There's no way they can match 2 cup wins, but there's a way they could have softened the blow on themselves in a way by, like what Andy said, you know, just go out and buy the players you need, but also sell your own players for enough profit to go and buy the players you need. There's no in and outs of that. It's just you have to go and buy the right players. You also have to make profit to go and buy those players. I think they made a big mistake letting go of Jason Kerr, but realistically, they were never going to be able to hang on to Jason Kerr.
It's just a shame that they weren't able to get some real money for him as well. Is the problem. But St Johnstone just don't have the power to say no. If a player wants to leave and get bigger wages somewhere else,
that player gets to leave.
Yeah, that player gets to leave and get bigger wages somewhere else. It's not.
But they shouldn't have let him leave for as little as they did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it wasn't even a fee in the end, it was just compensation. They just paid off the end of his contract and took him.
Yeah, it's a shame for them. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens next season, if they stay up, or even if they don't. I mean, if they don't stay up, I can see it really being a struggle for them next season as well, because they're on that downward spiral. It's very difficult to stop that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens for them in the following few weeks and months.
It'd be a real shame to see them go down. It really would. After all the successes, it would be a real shame to see them go down.
Yeah, but moving on now to predictions. So last week we had some interesting results. So we had quite a few shock results, so not many points picked up. So out of the 3 people on last week, in 3rd place we had Carl with just 1 point. That was picked up in the Celtic win owned for Dundee. In 2nd place Lewis with 5 points. And in 1st place was me with 6 points. Finally, the predictions. Hey.
Some would say rigged.
How?
Well, I won VAR on our predictions. So what does that do to the scores on the doors then?
So, well, that takes it for overall this season. So overall this season it puts Kyle bottom with 11, Andy is 3rd with 12, me is 2nd with 14, and top is Lewis with 18.
Oh,
Could be a nice wee role reversal here. It could be Kyle buying me the Mars bars this time, so could be great.
Yeah, some opportunities to pick up some points now, because we'll start with the midweek Premiership game between Dundee and St Mirren.
Mark McGee versus Stephen Robbins.
I didn't even notice that. Of course it is.
This has 0-0 written all over for it. Just a turded start to both their reigns. In my opinion, this is 0-0 all over it.
The ex Motherwell manager derby. Yeah, I agree. 0-0. Robinson comes out, plays a boarding 3-5-2 system that doesn't work for him, and then just Mark McGee just is Mark McGee in it. So actually, you know what? I'm going to say they score, because if he plays a 3-5-2, the back line gets shaky. So I'm going to say 1-1, but it's still going to be a draw. 1-1.
All right. I think Carl's had to go, hasn't he? So I'll send him out to do these predictions later. But I'm going to say, with a 0-0. This is Stephen Robinson and Mark McGee we're talking about here. So the only entertainment is going to be on the touchline and not anywhere else on the pitch.
What's that? Get that, Dave.
Next game in the predictions is the second leg of Rangers versus Dortmund.
Whoa. I mean, I know I was shiting on Dortmund earlier, but for all intensive purposes and for my sanity and my sleep at night, well, I'd love to see Dortmund win 3-0, just walk them off the field and go through. So I'll say 3-0 Dortmund.
Well, Haaland is back for the second leg, so...
He's back fit, but we don't know if he'll play.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see.
The man's on my wall. Like, he's legit behind me just now. Like, he's got Rangers all the problems. But realistically, I know it's only a 2-goal margin, but I think the damage is already done. Haaland will score though, but I'm going to say inevitably Dortmund go through on penalties.
Oh, so what you're saying the result's going to be second leg?
I think Haaland scores 2, Dortmund win 2. Well, Dortmund win the 90 minutes 2-0, goes to extra time, and Dortmund win on penalties.
Oof.
And that's me off Kyle's Christmas list.
You know what? I think it's going to go to penalties as well. But I reckon after a 3-1 win for Dortmund, it'll be the penalty masters themselves who will go through, just for the absolute shithousery of it. A 3-1 loss.
Germans are phenomenal at penalties, and Rangers love to get them. But we don't know how the players will deal in a pressurised shootout. So
I think I'm going for Rangers on penalties. I'm going for
Rangers on pens. Oh.
I just want to watch Haaland meditate in front of the Union Bells. Like, I just want to see how many pies, hot dogs,
fellow bears, we do not let them pass.
Talking of atmospheres that will be tough, is Bodo Glimt against Celtic, the second leg of that.
You know what? I reckon. I mean, we have the squad and we have the ability to see out this game and go away and blow away Bodo Glimt, but it's Celtic away in Europe, so we're it's a 1-1 draw at best. So I'm pushing for a 1-1. That's all I can muster up. That's all I see us getting out of that game.
Yeah, I don't see Celtic getting anything out of this game. I think it's just going to be a solid 2-0 win for Bodo Glimt, and that will see them through very not 2-9.
2-9.
A 2-0 win for Bodo Glimt. Celtic, I don't see them getting on the score sheet, which will be what will be horrific weather. I'm thinking. So
I agree with Sam. 2-0 Bodo Glimt. How you pronounce the O with the line, by the way, boys?
I don't know. Bodo Glimt.
Yeah, it's the same reasons as Sam. Arctic conditions. Celtics, 40. unless the Japanese boys have been doing like some high intensity training up in the Cairngorms this week or something.
Winter weather training.
Winter weather. Ange taking the boys skiing for the weekend or something, but nah, I just can't see it happening. I'm sorry, Andy, I really am, but I just can't see you scraping past them, not in Norway.
Of the Premiership fixtures at the weekend, we kick off with Dundee against Livingston.
It's got a 1-0 Levy written all over it. Realistically, 1-0 Levy.
It's one of those games that just have Dundee going to be probably poor. Mark McGee still won't be in charge properly because he'll still be banned. Livy, so I see them winning probably. I'm going to say 2-0. And Andy?
Yeah, I think it's a 1-0 Livy game. Livy have not been in particularly threatening goal scoring form, but I'd still see that they can see themselves past Dundee. So Dundee are notoriously bad for defending, so I think even Livy can score past them. So I think 1-0's a fair shout, a fair assumption.
Next up, the other side of Dundee, they travel to Pittodrie for Aberdeen versus Dundee United.
Oh, this has 4-1 Dundee United written all over it.
Oh.
This has an absolute humbling for Aberdeen. No Aberdeen manager gets off to a good start in their reign.
This does feel like it is going to be a bit of humble pie, like 3-1 St Dundee United. I'm thinking Goodwin there, that's what's happened.
Yeah, it's going to be weird seeing Goodwin in an Aberdeen setup.
I already don't like it.
Yeah, it's very strange. So I think I'm going to go something similar. I don't see him. He'll actually have some training sessions this time. Yeah, I see Tony Watt being on fire in this one. I'm going to go probably 3-0 to United. And then we have Ross County against St Johnstone.
Ooh.
Only 4 points separate these teams in the table. St Johnstone 11th, County in 10th. But what I see... Oh yeah, go on.
1-1, mate. 1-1.
I see Saints keeping up their good form. I'm going to say probably 2-1. I think. Okay,
Against County?
Against County, yeah.
Oh, there's always goals in a County game. I think I'm going to cash out my 5-5.
Oh, you're cashing out the 5-5 card.
Cashing out the 5-5. I mean, if any team's going to have a 5-5, it's going to be a County game. Plus, St Johnstone's form's improved, so yeah, why not? Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to bite the bullet.
And talking of biting a bullet, it's Stephen Robinson's St Mirren, and they're playing Hearts.
Oh, actually, wait, no. See, I'm laughing thinking, this will be like 2-0 Hearts, but Hearts are shocking just now. You know what? As much as I hate them, I'm going to say 1-0 St Mirren.
Ooh.
I think the Hearts train has finally grinded to a halt.
Yeah, they've got all jam in it.
Nah, it's the grease from Robbie Neilson's Unwashed hair.
That's the pod title sorted.
Robbie Neilson's unwashed hair.
Yeah.
It just always looks so greasy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with St Mirren win as well. As much as I hate to say it, I'm probably going to go solid 1-0. Stephen Robertson just going to shithouse his way to putting St Mirren into the top 6. I can see it now.
It's going to be so bad, and I'm just going to hate the rest of this season now. This is. People always say, "Oh, support their Motherwell." Painful.
I still think Hearts will lose. Yeah, I think it'll be a 2-1 St Mirren there. Just because, I mean, he's got to get his first points at some point, Stephen Robinson, and if there's any team you're going to pick up your first points as manager against, it'll be Hearts.
It's always Hearts.
He always did.
Anybody remember the Ian Cathro reign? The Ian Cathro dynasty. He was possibly the worst interviewer I've ever seen.
To be fair, Robinson does love a game against Hearts.
True. But we'll go to the other side of Edinburgh now, and on Sunday we kick off with Hibs versus Celtic.
Big Hibs versus wee Hibs.
I think you mean Celtic versus wee Celtic.
Yeah, it depends on what side you're sitting on. When you go, mate.
I think we'll do is a nice round 3-0, a shutout, and also a resounding performance after our disappointing defeat away at Bodo.
I think Celtic will still probably have frostbite from their trip to the Arctic Circle, so I'm hoping that they do at least. A bit at Exeter Road, where we've been meh this season. It's good to get some couple of wins on the board with the Arbroath and county games, and they're picking up some form. January signings are clicking a bit more now. It's more thinking on how Celtic will respond to their second leg against Border Glimt. So I'm going to go with a draw. I'm just going to go with 1-1.
From County, right? Pep staying out. I agree with Sam actually. European hangover, European frostbite. We'll make it a 1-1 draw between Hibs and Celtic. I'm going to say Jake Doyle-Hayes gets on the score sheet again for Hibs.
I'm not giving you any points if he does or not. I don't care. I don't have the space to put it on the Excel sheet.
I know it's not bonus points, it's just that would be, to take it down to the bookies, that's what I would put money on.
And then to close off the weekend, it'll be Rangers against Motherwell.
And that's got a 1-1 Motherwell with a late Rangers penalty to equalise. 1-1 Motherwell? 1-1 against Motherwell Rangers with a late Rangers penalty to equalise. In my opinion.
Can I just remind you the last time we played them, they won 6-1.
Look, this is a reformed side.
It is a reformed Motherwell side.
I think this game relies on how late the game gets on Thursday. I mean, if Rangers Dortmund goes to extra time and penalties, they're going to be exhausted still, even if both games still are at Ibrox. So that might play a part. I think. I bet they do go all the way to penalties. I think Rangers probably going to still be hungover from that if they do, knock out Dortmund from Europe. But I still see them probably winning because they are just that much better than Motherwell. So I'm probably just going to go with a 1-0. Let's say Tavernier penalty.
Yeah, I'm coming in with full-hearted confidence. 1-0 Motherwell.
Oh, that's what we like to see.
That is the only time I'll ever back my team, purely based on the prediction that Dortmund Rangers is going to penalties. They're going to be tired. They're going to have to play the backups. And if Rangers play the backups, I'd say they're only either slightly above or on par with their first team. So, yeah, Kevin Van Veen. It'll be GK 1-0.
It'll be a Van Veen party at Ibrox.
There won't be a Van Veen party at Ibrox, mate. There'll be a Van Veen party in my back garden if we beat Rangers.
So, with that, the Van Veen party in Lewis's garden, if it happens or not, we'll let you know in the next pod. But for now, thanks for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us, and obviously thank you to Kyle as well. And we'll catch you again next week.
See you later.
The False 90s podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, and our website at false90s.wordpress.com. For updates, follow False 90s on both Twitter and Instagram. And a big thank you to Fransisco Aluear and his track Space Game, which is our theme tune.
Just seeing his smug little face when he beats Rangers 1-0 or something, you know. And it's not even like a respectable 1-0. It's like a tap in like 29th minute or something. It's just... I'm just not ready for that. I don't want it to happen.
But it's gonna.
I feel like it... Yeah. But I feel like Andy would be the same if like Neil Lennon had got the Aberdeen job.
Oh, I'd hope somebody like broke his legs on the touchline, man.
That's how I feel about Robinson.